Welcome back. Social media crackdown. Australia is now the first nation to outright ban Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and other platforms for children under the age of 16. Many other countries are considering tighter controls and age verification requirements. Here in the U.S., Florida is implementing a ban for anyone under 14 years old as concerns are growing over the impact of unlimited screen time and social media consumption on young people. One Gen Zer is now taking charge. Catherine Goetze is the influencer behind physical phones, Bluetooth landline-style phones without screens. She sold $120,000 worth of them within the first 3 days of launch. Catherine Goetze joins me right now. Catherine, great to have you. Congratulations on this. Tell me what's appealing to people about a phone with no screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, Maria. I think that, as a content creator, I talk about AI and technology's impact on society. And one of the biggest trends that I noticed this year in 2025 was how people have started to really loathe their relationship with their smartphone. They're sick of AI, they're sick of social media. And so with physical phones, what we're essentially offering is an alternative that says, we'll still pair with your smartphone. So the solution is not to just, become a complete Luddite and chuck your phone into the ocean, but to actually leverage modern technology using Bluetooth to connect to something that feels retro and analog, which people are just craving now more than ever.
These phones are so good looking. I mean, it takes me back so many years to when we were just using a landline. How do they work?
Yeah, so it's super simple. Essentially, I've got one here so I can show you exactly how it works. You just pair your smartphone to the physical phone with Bluetooth, just like how you'd pair to your car speaker or an external speaker. And then if someone calls your smartphone, the physical phone will ring. And if you make a call on the physical phone by pressing any of the numbers right here, it'll actually initiate an outbound call. And it's all leveraging your smartphone, which means, you don't need to use those RJ11 jacks that you had to find in the wall. Like some apartments don't even have landline service anymore. It also means you don't need a second phone number. So it's just a much more, it's how, if landlines were invented today in 2025, it's how they would probably work.
So does it change anything about my cell phone or my smartphone if I do want to look at screens later?
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no reason. This is why the physical phone was invented in the way that we did. We were very specific and thoughtful about the product and the design and how it would all work. Essentially, because it's leveraging your smartphone, you have a couple of options. You could come home. This is how I use it. When I come home, I make sure that my smartphone is paired to the physical phone with Bluetooth. And then as much as possible, I try to put my smartphone into a drawer. What that means is for the rest of my night, after I'm done with work and I'm cooking my dinner and I'm going to bed, if someone needs to reach me, the physical phone will ring, and if I need to reach someone else, I can call someone on the physical phone. But it doesn't mean that I can't use my smartphone. One of the most kind of tech-forward functionalities of it, which I have to mention, is if you don't know people's phone numbers, which most of us don't today and age, if you pick up the phone here and you press star, it'll activate Siri, so you can just speak the name of the person who you want to call, and it'll actually just make an outbound call.
Oh, wow. That's a lot more high-tech than I would have expected just from looking at the phone. I would guess your big customer is parents. Are parents the big buyers here? Who are your customers?
It's super interesting. So our customers span a wide age range. We see a lot of parents who are buying for their teenagers, kids who are actually asking for this. And the reason that's interesting is because a lot of these kids, especially in Gen Alpha and younger Gen Z, never even grew up with a landline, or if they do, they don't remember it. And then we also have people who are millennials and Gen Xers who deeply remember and have this deep nostalgia for this time. And of course, they're kind of hearkening back to it in the way that they're installing it in their homes. But we're seeing a lot of younger children and Gen Z asking for this, which is obviously very interesting to me as sort of a technological anthropologist, as I'm, looking at this kind of thing and making content about it online and sharing stories, is how people could be nostalgic for a time that they never themselves experienced is super interesting.
That is. And how much does it retail for?
So the phones range between $90 and $110, depending on the design.
Excellent stuff. Catherine, we so appreciate you joining us. We'll be watching the market for this. Going back in time a bit.
Yep, that's right. Thank you so much.